Okay, I want to talk you through how I actually plan out the order of my tasks in a day. There's a lot of theories out there on what you should do first, what you should do later in the day, how you should start your day with your creative tasks, how you might want to consider doing what they call eat the frog, which means do your most difficult task before you do anything else. And my approach isn't really any of those. I guess it's sort of a hybrid of some of those commonly known approaches, and I'm going to kind of talk you through that. So the first thing to start with for me is Monday is typically the day that I do a lot of administrative tasks. I typically have more emails to catch up on, more just kind of communications and chores. So it's a day that I set aside for that. And I've talked about this in other places, so I'll kind of skip that, but I do break my work week into theme days. So different days of the week, I focus on different things. So as a result of Monday being an administrative day, I often have a lot of sort of disconnected tasks to do across other things. So let me actually walk you through some of the things that I do in the day. I start each day with 15 minutes to plan out my day, check my inboxes, see if there's anything that I need to look at that's going to change what my plan was going to be. And then I do team-wide reviews. I have a personal task in here to shower, stretch, and meditate. Then I take care of all of my inboxes. I do about 45 minutes a week of preparing various content that goes out in the newsletter and videos like this. I also do support. And then I'll usually have one task at the end of the day, which is usually like writing software. That's at the end of the day. But one of the things I don't do on days like this is eat the frog, and the reason for that is a lot of the things that I need to get done today are pretty simple. Like, for example, doing these reviews, I almost always get it done in the time I have allotted for it. And if I were to do this coding task at the end to start the day, it's the kind of thing that could very quickly take twice as long, thrice as long, or even 4 times as long. And as soon as I get into it, I would have a lot of trouble stopping to get back in and take care of all of the administrative chores I need to do to keep the business running. So for me, what I like to do is start the day with my more predictable tasks, and the things that I know that I can get done in the amount of time I have allotted for them, and then I knock those out. And typically for me, kind of the switching point is around lunchtime. I'll have lunch, I'll go for a little walk, then I'll come back, and that gives me a chance to kind of settle into my more creative or difficult tasks for the day. And then the last thing I'll mention that I think you have an opportunity to do when you're planning your day is to not just think about, like, how am I going to fit all of these things into the different time slots on my calendar, but you also have an opportunity to try and figure out what the emotional flow of your day is going to be. So again, this is sort of another reason why I don't often do the eat the frog methodology, but I will try and do my more what I think of as boring work earlier in the day. And that gets me kind of excited, like in the afternoon, to work on the stuff that I really like. And it actually helps me kind of push through that like afternoon sluggishness or tiredness that I might feel because I'm working on something I feel genuinely interesting. Whereas if I try to do my emails at 3 in the afternoon, it's not going to work for me. So obviously so much of it is understanding your own energy and emotion and focus levels and how they vary through the day. But yeah, that's a couple things that I do. I basically do my more predictable work to start the day, and then more difficult, more creative stuff towards the end of the day. And yes, there is a trade-off in the sense that I am fresher mentally in the morning. But I think for me in the long run, this has worked out. This has worked out pretty well. So anyway, those are some things that have worked for me. Give them a try and see if they work for you, or if you have questions or want to talk about it, just shoot me a note.